Hi, welcome to C Programming Tutorials. This tutorial is continuation of the previous tutorial. So if you haven't watched the previous tutorial, please click on the link on the screen and to go to the previous tutorial, because this is just you won't be able to follow as much if you just start from here. So anyway, in the previous tutorial we were basically learning as to how to return values from a function. And as an example, we were basically writing up a function called a square, which takes one parameter and squares its value and then return it back to the caller. Okay, so and then we were looking at how to call this function, and here, excuse me. We have declared a variable a when assigned a value, initialized it to 2, and then we have declared an integer x, and then we have declared an result, and then x equal to square of a. This ends up in calling this function that we just defined, and since we passed a to it, the value of a, which is 2, gets substituted to the value of x in this dummy argument here. Okay, and this value of x for this function, for this particular call, becomes 2, and then it operates on that value. It will multiply 2 by 2, which is 4, and it will assign that value to result, and then return that value 4 to the caller. So this square is going to basically, it's like let me see. It's like okay, it's like this guy is going to throw out the value of 4 because the value of a was 2. Okay, so it will square this value and then throw out the value of the result of that square, and then we can catch it in some other variable here using the equal to statement. Okay, so this way the value of whatever the value that it returns is going to be caught here. Okay, or we could basically use square of a in an expression also. We'll see how. So this is what we are actually doing here. Okay, so let's see. So at this point the value of x will become 4. Now remember, this x is totally different from this x, because this x is defined in this scope and this x is defined in this scope. So this x has a totally different value, has nothing to do with the value of x here. Similarly, this result is totally different from this result because they are defined in two different scopes. Okay, so the value of x will become the square of a. Okay, you could even say something like this: result is equal to square of, and provide the number right here. Okay, square of 10. So what would be the value of result? It would be 100. Because after this call, which will basically here, the value of x will become 10, and then result will be computed by multiplying 10 by 10 and then returning the result back. Okay, and then you could do anything you want with the result. It's just like, it's any other variable with any other value. It doesn't matter how the value came from. Okay, it totally doesn't matter. Now, what other thing you could do is basically you could do something like this also. Result is equal to square of 2. What is it gonna be? So square, see what did I do here? Okay, let's not talk about this right now. Let's go step by step. Okay, square of 2 plus square of 3 plus multiplied by 9. Okay, what is gonna happen here? What would be the value of result? Let's look at it. Okay, so square of 2, what is this thing gonna return? It's gonna return 4. So this will be substituted by 4. Okay, so it's gonna be 4 plus, and this thing is going to be substituted by 3 square, which is 9. Okay, and then this is multiplied by 9 as is. Okay, what do you think? What would be the result of this? Remember, precedence works on these operators. Okay, precedence basically defines which operator is going to be executed first if they are all in sequence. So plus and multiply are all in sequence here. Since multiplication has higher precedence than addition, this is going to happen first. So 9 multiplied by 9 is going to happen first, which would be 81. So 4 plus 81, and then equal to 4 plus 81 is 85. So the result, the value of result as a result of this statement will become 85. Okay? Or you could do what I was going to do first, square of 2. What does that mean? Look at this, what I did here. Okay? We passed 2. What's going to happen first? This is going to happen first. Not this, because this cannot happen first unless we know the value of this thing. And to compute the value of this thing, it will be called here. So there are two nested calls. One call, and then after that another call. Sorry. So the 2 is going to be, the square is going to be called first here, and 2 will be passed to it. So what's going to be the value of x here? X is equal to 2. So 2 2s are 4. That's going to result in 4, and this whole thing will be replaced. It will return 4. So this will be replaced by 4. So it will become a square, this is square of 4, which is the result of this square of 2. Okay? And then it will be called, this function will be called again. But this time it will be called by passing the value of x as 4. And then it will result in 4 times 4, which is 16. So the result of this whole thing would become 16, and the value of result will be 16. It's like doing a square of 2, which is 2 raised to the power 4. 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. It's the same thing. Okay? So this is how you do it. So we saw how to basically pass the parameters and how to return the values from the functions. There can be multiple parameters depending upon the function itself. If it has to operate on multiple parameters, you could basically pass multiple parameters to it. And then we learned one important thing. You can pass the call to a function. You can call a function and pass its return value as the parameter back to some other function or the same function. Okay? And here we basically called this function and passed the value returned by this into that function again. So that function got operated twice, once with this value, and second the result of this value, and then the result was this total. And you could if you want, you could basically have you can throw in another call here, a square of this whole thing. So this concludes this tutorial. So if you like this tutorial, I would really appreciate if you could basically give me a thumbs up on this video, or you basically click on the like link on the Facebook page, and please submit some comments or something so that I get some feedback, any kind of suggestions or anything, so that I can know what you guys think about this tutorial. And if you have any suggestion about which topic I should cover next, that would be really nice too. Thank you so much.